Hello and welcome to the winter edition of Happy Days News. In this programme we've got some really exciting news about our charity, and we're also looking at a story about Stewart, one of our residents who's transformed himself from a really tough background into where he is today. So enjoy. So that exciting news is we've merged with Second Halifax Housing, which has 68 flats over 2 sites. You'll be seeing some of those sites over the programme, but the amazing thing is we can help 68 more people. There are some older people living on this site, which we intend on organising trips and getting them involved. But the main thing is that we listen to our residents and they help shape the future of our charity. And we're wanting to make as big a difference in people's lives as we can, helping them into volunteering opportunities and into work. So we want to help our residents to build a stronger community so that people are happier and they're living in places where they actually want to live and choose to live. And one of the ways we're going to do that, first off, is we're going to do a general needs assessment amongst all our residents to find out what needs to be done, how we can help people. The next thing we're going to do, once we've done that general needs assessment, is we're going to employ more support staff to help support people's needs. We've found an awful lot of isolation during COVID. We've found a lot of people really struggling with their mental health, and we're pushing right in there to help these people, to help them stand up, to help them rebuild the foundations again.
The isolation that we feel in the modern world is frightening. I'd lived in a marriage for 27 years, so that was a whole community that we had there. And then when my wife died, I was left with nothing. And so when she died, I was terrified.
To be in isolation and not just have a few people to talk to might be okay for some people, but I think community is very important. I've seen quite a few improvements in that. There's been gardening help, there's been several lads, there's been social areas improved to the back of this old house with benches and flower tubs, and people have got going with flowers and ideas for the gardens. And there's been a bit more people about.
And it's just that sense of looking after each other. It's not one side doing it to the other. It's a question of the two sides just being nice to each other, which is an incredibly sad little thing to say. But it makes you feel there are other people there who actually know that you exist.
And another amazing thing about the merger is we can use these properties for move-on accommodation for our existing residents in Happy Days. Once people start to get their lives back together, they start looking at wanting their own property, well, we're going to have the opportunity to be able to keep support, light touch support over them for a further 12 months in these new properties.
I've been with Happy Days for about 8 months or so now, after quite a few bad moments in my life that led to my mental breakdown and led to me being street homeless. Moved in to Happy Days with no real understanding of what the charity was or what it did, but throughout the 8 months that I've been here, they have seriously helped me get to the root of my mental health problems. Helped me uncover things that I didn't even realise, and through that they've really helped me get my mental health under control and to a point now where it doesn't affect me day to day. I moved on into this accommodation 3 weeks ago, which is basically it's a Happy Days move-on property where people like me, when they're able to integrate really back into society, and it's just nice to have my own space where I can just be myself, be with my own thoughts, but not in a dark way like I used to. Happy Days, they've really helped me, and without them I wouldn't be here right now, so I am eternally grateful to them and to what they've done.
So we're so excited about this merger and the future. We don't want to see anyone homeless in Calderdale or Kirklees, and we want to make as big an impact into creating great communities as we can. We're seeing huge changes amongst the people that we're working with already, so keep tuned into our programmes over the coming months and you'll just see how much people's lives are transforming for the better.
My childhood was absolutely fantastic. Alcoholic mother and a dad that was workaholic, he was never here. Unrestrained freedom, you know what I mean? But without the boundaries, I guess. But yeah, chemically dependent, 8, 9 years old, alcohol. An alcoholic at 9 as such. Labelled maladjusted, I remember the famous label, you know, when I got taken into care about just after my 8th. I'd never met violence, I'd never used violence until I went into the care system. This young individual, he pushed me and pushed me and pushed me until I responded accordingly. I hurt him on a level that shocked even me back then, do you know what I mean? But I found that in that one instant, I loved this powerful feeling that I got, you know what I mean? And it wasn't long before I was taken over the children's home and became the bully. It just progressed into something even I couldn't see at that point. I went to fight in Kosovo. I saw on the TV the cruelty that the Serbs were doing, and protector kicked in and my ego kicked in, and me and 5 friends went off to fight. I learned to fight from a big nasty Russian that taught me for close combat stuff. But I came back traumatised and scarred even more, and what a man can do to another man. Started drinking on a degree. It just escalated the violence. Soon I come into conflict with the system on a real basis, and it wasn't long after that when I picked up weapons. And my offending was around my substance misuse. Do you know, my funding my substances, the crack especially, that was a big bill. I spent over just under 29 years in custody from 8 years old, being in care and all that stuff, and off to Securicom, then Borstal training, and then YC, and then jail, and shipped me off to Berlin to Scotland. It had to stop. That pain had to stop, for me and for everybody else. And so I went out to cause a copper to shoot me. I was going to hurt a lot of people until I was stopped. But any other copper on any other day, I'd put 2 in me. Not without any questions asked, and gone home and slept. He shot me in the leg. I shouldn't be here. Not on that guy's training. No, I shouldn't be here. But I am, so it's a wacky story. Yeah, I crossed paths with Happy Days during my recovery at my daycare at Huddersfield. But again, fate, whatever you want to call it, I met this young lady from Happy Days that was doing something that pleased me. It was something I had a love for and a passion for and a certain skill set for, and especially around building communities, and I'm pretty good at that stuff. With never having a home as such, I could make my home anywhere. I built a community around me, wherever I was. Anybody can put a roof over your head. They make a connection on a level I've never seen a service make a connection. I don't call this a service. This isn't a service that I'd describe as service. The support and that interaction between client and professional, it sings, it fits, it really fits. Dave said something on a meeting the other week. He called it a community for life. What a concept. I've never heard words like that, especially out of another guy, I think. Probably the most precious words I'd ever heard a man say, you know, a community for life. It's people longing to talk like that, and they carry through on the fruition. Yeah, I can get involved in this and stay involved in it. I believe that I went through the journey I went through to get the understanding of life, so I can be the man I am today. I get to be Soft Stewie, you know. I love that title. They call me Stewie, and there's no ego in it. I love it, you know what I mean? There's no ego in it, and I love it. The more people call me Soft Stewie, the more I can be soft. I think it's beautiful, it makes me weep almost, you know. I think it's remarkable that people see that now. I get to be me now. Today I can say it was worth it. I couldn't at the time, all that pain and the suffering, but I get what life was giving me. A skill set and an emotional package, if you will, that's going to equip me to do what I'm doing today.
So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learnt more about Happy Days and how hopefully you can get more involved in what we're doing. Look out for our recovery programme. During COVID we've had to respond and provide our own internal 12-step programme for all our residents, and we'll be releasing a specific programme about that in a couple of weeks. So thank you, enjoy winter, and we'll see you in the spring.